In this series, we meet some of the hardest working individuals that you're ever likely to meet: cattlemen, ranchers, and farmers. This series highlights those that put food on our tables. This is Agriculture in East Texas, a Center Broadcasting Company feature. This time on Agriculture in East Texas, we met with Mr. T.L. Williams, who owns a cattle ranch in the Timpson area.
They purchased the farm in 1881. They actually moved on the farm in 1879 and then bought it 2 years later. I noticed it was ironic that when I was reading some of the deeds, that they purchased the farm in March of 1881 and didn't even get it recorded till November of 1881. So I guess it was they didn't have time to get the center to regularly. Every time I go off on my rides, well, she goes with me. She's my main ride.
What's her name?
Thelma Lou. If you remember the Andy Griffin show, old Barney Fife's girlfriend was named Thelma Lou.
Mr. Williams showed me his garden.
That's just small food crop. I like to have tomatoes and peppers, have a few peas and okra, and I pretty well live out of my garden all year.
So can you tell us a little more about your family's history with agriculture?
Being able to eat, so to speak, and to gain a little bit of income, such as when they farmed cotton. There was a stint of the tomato. The tomato crops, the business lasted 2 or 3 years, and there was cotton, and then the cotton virtually left overnight for a number of reasons, and they, with everyone else, had to change over to livestock and grass. So now we are virtually grass farmers. That's what we depend on for income.
We loaded up in the truck and he gave me a tour of his property.
This field fed a lot of people with food crops, but it also raised a lot of cotton. So cotton was important. This field, and we'll go through another field in a little bit, that I actually, not this field, but this other field, I recall cotton being there. I remember having a little old bitty cotton sack made by my mother and me picking cotton. When the Williamses bought this place, on the deed it called for 1 log house, 2 pear trees right in front of the old log house, which the old log house was just to my left. And so these pear trees were here when they moved here in 1879. But it called for 2 fruit trees, pear trees, and 8 acres of cleared land. So it was an improved farm in 1879 when they moved here.
All right, so tell us about your cattle here.
Well, every one of them here was raised on this place. They're mostly Brahman and Hereford and 2 or 3 other crosses. One of the things I have observed about the cattle is the more Brahman that's in them, the more they will graze in the sun. The less Brahman, they seem to hunt the shade quicker. My first memory of right exactly where we are, this instead of grass and cattle, it was loaded with cotton. These things were referred to as tanks. They were just stock tanks. They weren't necessarily, they were basically just in a water flow and dug down to the clay where they would hold water like a little old jug. Out in West Texas, they were called dirt tanks or tanqueteras.
Tell us about this old photo. It's from 1938?
Correct.
Now, where was it taken at?
Bowles Field.
Tell us a little.
Bowles Field Fox Hunt of 1938. And I always admired how a photographer at that time could get that long a picture. And but it, I haven't counted them, but there's a lot of men, few women, and a lot of dogs in that picture. There's also a band down at the end, and it was the annual, which was real big up until maybe 25 or 30 years ago, the annual Bowles Field Fox Hunt.
What other profession did you do besides farming? Tell us about your career. You were in the military?
I was in the military. I got my personalized letter from the President, Lyndon B. Johnson, and I served. I was inducted into the military, and I served my time at that.
And following the military, what did you do?
I worked construction, pipeline, and so all of my outside work has been involved in construction or the trucking industry.
So what has agriculture meant for you?
It has been a source of enjoyment. It also has been a source of income. It's been a cushion. If I needed a little extra money or needed to cover something, I could sell a cow or possibly sell some gravel or sell some timber, something concerning the farm. But everything has to be maintained or there won't be anything to sell.
T.L. Williams, just another hard-working East Texas farmer. This has been another tale from agriculture in East Texas, honoring those that put food on our tables. Agriculture in East Texas has been brought to you by Shelby Savings Bank.